Intellectually engaging to think outside the lines with conversation about the nation that never leaves you blind. Take a listen and pay attention. Here is where you find the educational, sensational meeting of the minds. Yeah, it's the meeting of the minds. Meeting of the minds.
Thank you for tuning in to Meeting of the Minds. Whether you're watching on TV, podcast, iTunes, Google Play, welcome. Today's topic is going to be ghosting. And before I introduce our guest to you, I would like to let you know that if you would like to be a guest on our show, you are welcome to go to our website, which is meetingoftheminds.com. So meetingoftheminds.com, and you can fill out an application to possibly be a guest. Or if you have a topic idea, you can also drop those there as well. That website is brought to you by Bprint, and they were our sponsor for that website, and it is a lovely, lovely website. We love it. It's very beautiful, to say the least. Anyways, moving on from there, I would also like to say thank you so much to Syntex Guns for being our sponsors. He is the only black gun store owner in Texas. So me and all of my friends, we go and get all of our weapon needs from there. So just want to let you know that. Plug. Anyways. So now it's time to introduce our guest to you. So first, today we have with us Miss Alyssa in the house. She does a podcast. Is that right?
Absolutely.
And what is your podcast name?
It is The World According to the Jennifer Lee and the Miss Alyssa Show.
And Miss Jennifer Lee and you are quite characters.
Everybody seems to like us.
I really do. And that's specifically why I invited you today. It's just so much personality.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you enjoy watching her here, you're more than welcome to check out their podcast as well, because lovely ladies.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
So also in the house we have an upcoming actor with us. Lexter Santana is in the house. He also does a lot of stunt work with some of the very, very best, working side by side with people like John Satberry. And he's just somebody to look out for. I guarantee you that. So thank you so much, Lexter, for being in the house with us.
Thank you for having me.
Creative technology specialist Angel Rivera in the house with us as well. Thank you so much for being with us and joining us. So, we are going to talk about ghosting. So let's jump right on in. What is ghosting? Anybody want to kind of, for people that are watching, they're like, what the heck is ghosting? What the heck is ghosting?
So, I think kind of to my understanding is when you any type of relationship you might be in, you just kind of disappear from without a trace. And, no warnings, no much of anything really. You just kind of
the lack
ghost,
of communication,
right? Like it's
basically.
just you just disappear.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like falling off the face of the earth kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty clear. So just dropping off with no explanation whatsoever is called ghosting. So, do you think that ghosting is, first of all, have you ever ghosted?
So okay, no, I gotta think about this.
I'll give you an opportunity to clear your name.
I have to think about this. I don't think I have. I don't think I have. Like I definitely have backed away from people slowly, but still communicating. It's just we're just not as close anymore or whatever the case may be. But not ever boom, I'm gone kind of thing.
Because that's the right thing to do. What about you?
Absolutely.
You ghosted completely, bounce. I'm out.
If it comes to a point when you have fans that get a little too aggressive, then there is an absolute need to say this communication is over and we won't be talking anymore. And then you just put your foot down.
Yeah.
You kind of have to.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know if that's ghosting because, I have dropped off the face of the earth, but there's always this moment that you could be like, maybe when I did that, it offended her. There's this, because there's some people that, literally make you have the best time you've ever had in your life.
Yeah.
And then they just disappear. Yes. I like to say goodbye.
Yeah, I really know. I had friends and I had girls that I used to like, and they just disappeared from the world, and I've done it myself too.
You have?
Yeah,
we're gonna dig deep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
How do you sleep at night?
Trust me, There's there's a lot of stories, like especially like Lexter. He's me and him. We were like always together.
Wait, don't drag me in now. Don't drag me in.
But he knows how crazy I am
Oh, yeah.
and like all the wild stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I think there's this point that you can tell that like for me you can tell like, well, maybe I really offended her with that one, or like I let you know you offended me and that's why I am MIA. But I've actually had like a beyond dating. I had a best friend ghost on me. And here's the thing, when a friend or somebody says like I'm down for you, like till death do us part type thing, immediately I'm like, oh crap, you're about to fall off.
Right.
No, because it's like, I don't know why it's automatic. It's the friend who never commits that hard that's always like so down the most. And I'm actually like that. But the one is like, I'm there for you through thick and thin. And I was like, I told her, literally, she said, I'm going to be like your best friend forever. And I said, no, one day I'm probably going to piss you off. And she's like, no, never. I said, I'm going to take a snapshot of this. And I did. And then later on, and here's the thing about it is that like, I kept texting her. I was like, can you just tell me what I did so that I can at least be a better person? Like, tell me so that I know, so that I can either rectify it or I can, nothing.
Right, because I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think when somebody goes, I don't think they're thinking about the other person's
Yeah,
thoughts.
they're
I
just
don't
ghosting.
think they are
They're not
either.
thinking
Yeah.
about
Oh,
They
what
can't
the-
handle it,
problem.
so they're gone.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem is that honestly, a person that is ghosting does not give a rat's toodly doo
Or to nobody.
about nobody else's things. But you know, something that changed me from being like that was that like I thought that what if one day like the ghost of Christmas past like takes me to these people that I've hurt really bad, right? And then I have to feel everything that I've done to somebody else. Like let's say like people really like people sometimes, like a lot, you know? And then like imagine that you led them on in any kind of way and then you're like, got him, whatever. Like what if they really, really hurt and then the ghost of Christmas past takes you to them and makes you feel that pain, but for like 45 minutes more
That's
than
what
they
the
felt
ghosting's
it
supposed
for.
to do. You're supposed to be like, well,
Just-
that sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
This sucks. To be left out like that.
And I actually think some people want to do that to get their rocks off. No. I think it makes them feel good. Yeah. So another theory
To be a dick.
I don't know. I haven't considered this.
So here's another
Jerks
theory.
out there.
Here's
That's-
another theory that I have is that, like, let's say you're hanging out with a guy and he gets the feeling that you're totally gonna friend zone him, right? Like he just gets that sense, right? So he might be like, oh, I'll beat her to the punch or something like that, so that I could be the one to say the. I really think, it's like, yeah.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Yeah, obviously, if you get that vibe, you probably don't want to be, there when it happens.
And
like,
just expect that
right.
someone's gonna just
Yeah.
dick you over.
wrong with being a friend?
you don't see the L and like take it coming.
Exactly.
Why is being friends an L? Like,
Well, it's not that it's an L, but it's just like if your initial intention was not to be a friend, like it's just kind of like, and you've already made that clear.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like you put yourself out there,
Yeah.
and then the feeling wasn't mutual. So like,
Right.
What if they like?
Exactly.
Go ahead, Angel.
Oh no, it's like it's just digging more into what he says. It's more if you're more clear into like, look, this is all I want, and that's all I need.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to feel like either ghosted or abandoned,
Yeah.
because
Right.
basically it's like ghosting is like being abandoned.
It is. Okay, so I love that you said that.
Yeah.
Ghosting is like being abandoned.
Yeah.
And it does trigger abandonment feelings.
Yes.
And so when you do that, you are a royal douchebag. I just
Yeah.
But what I want to teach everyone is to how not to let it affect you, because the inclination when you get ghosted is to think that there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But I want to make it very, very, very clear that a person who ghosts, there's something wrong
With
them.
them.
Like
Absolutely.
most likely.
Anything.
Unless there's like you realize that this person is a complete psycho and you're in bodily danger. So like if it's not you. I promise you. A person like that doesn't give you any type of explanation and falls off the face of the earth, it is not you. It is most certainly them. Because people who consider other people's feelings don't do stuff like that.
Yeah. And letting people process out whatever they got to say, you know, okay, that's cool. I hear you. I don't have to respond, or I'll respond later, or just something to give, you know, like,
to just
I
give an
hear
idea.
that you're talking, and not just like, well, fuck your shit forever existing.
But I feel it's not like intentionally.
Yeah.
I feel it's like depending what kind of life that person has.
It's a default mechanism, I think. Like,
It's
people who
like-
get really overwhelmed, shut down, and that's how they deal with their issues these days. And
Yeah.
I don't remember ghosting was a thing growing up until just recently. Am I right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this has just become a thing that our lives have become so overcasted with so much to do and so many things to think of and people to deal with that when it becomes too much, it's almost better just to like, I'm just going to turn that off.
Well, it's just and I'm glad you said that,
Yeah.
because it's very similar to social media. Like, you
Yeah.
can just turn social
You can
media
just
off
turn
the
it
minute
off.
you don't want to deal with somebody.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's very easy to we got accustomed to that, and it's very easy to now do that with people,
Yeah.
and it's just
Ew, that's
like
gross.
yeah, and it's like it's just like
I want to actually go scenario by scenario. We're gonna rewind all the way kind of to the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Let's knock them out scenario
Let's
by
do
scenario
it.
and discuss them kind of like that. So, you went out. Somebody went out. You went out on a date with someone, and you know, it was okay. It was, you know, not so. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't really good, and they just ghosted.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? Like, what would you think about it?
I'd probably be shocked, like probably like
Me?
How did you
confused.
ghost me?
All of this you could have
Why would
had.
you do that? What kind of stuff are you smoking?
No, I'd be very confused as to like I'd just be like wait,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
are they playing with me? Like,
Right.
what's happening? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So like, but obviously, like, if I try to like reach out and they don't contact me back, then at that point,
But it's like the first thoughts that go through your mind as a human being, did they get in a car accident?
I do think stuff
Did
like that.
something happen to this individual? And then you start wrecking their day up by like, where are you?
Yeah.
And
Oh
you
yeah,
start
I don't do
You
that.
get-
making
you're
things
right.
worse by being the crazy person,
No,
and
yeah.
even more reason that they're just like, yeah, I ain't going to
Well,
respond
it
to
depends
that.
on like, yeah, no. If he's a new person, I'm just praying in the
Yeah.
spirit for them.
Too.
I'm not even text. I can't. I like
Yes.
way too prideful. Like I'm just going, dear God, please protect them while they're on their way. Like for real, I'm not gonna hit you up to find out and just
Yeah.
hope. So the person, so would you would process that as like, okay, so maybe they weren't that into me.
Absolutely. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you're like, well, then
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wasn't
probably.
good enough.
it just
Oh,
They
they
just
didn't
didn't dig it.
enjoy
Like,
or didn't
They
enjoy
must have
it.
not liked me.
Yeah.
Right.
and they
Yeah.
just put up a smile to
Yeah.
not make me feel
Yeah.
bad.
Now,
Right.
some people will take this really, really hard, and I just want you to say, like, some people just don't like tomatoes on their taco. There's nothing wrong with tomatoes, you know? We're like, who doesn't like tomatoes?
It's a thing. People don't like to make and cilantro.
So maybe they
apparently.
came across something that they just didn't like about
Yeah.
you, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. There's gonna be someone else who loves tomatoes on their tacos, right?
Yeah.
So we got that out of the way. Next scenario. This person made you feel like they were all the way into you. Like
That's
you
just
were
wrong.
like
That's
you were
just
like,
wrong.
oh my gosh, I think I found the one. Like, oh, this is
Oh,
excellent.
yikes.
This
We
was
can
an
go-
excellent
Let's call
time.
that a midlife crisis or some sort of meltdown, or
It-
like
it's
they.
more as a
and then all of
meltdown
a
than
Yeah,
sudden
anything
they
meltdown.
else.
ghost you. They ghost you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
But it was a perfect night, and they're like, call me when you get home. Ghost.
Yeah.
Then
I think
what
people
then?
feel like they bite off more than they can chew, and then they finally like realize this could turn into something really serious, and I might not be able to do that.
Not true.
Right.
And
That
then
is
that's
true.
just a way of solving that right then.
But even worse if it prolonged it to like
So why
almost a
even
year.
pretend like in the first place? Or,
I think
or they
people,
don't-
yeah, people. I mean, it's hard to say no to a pretty girl. It's hard to say no to a pretty guy. And you're just like, yes, most of the time we're at a bar, we're dancing, or we go out for brunch the next day, or you go ahead and have a good evening, and then you wake up in the morning, you're like, I just think I really shouldn't have been so forthcoming, and I'll call you later. And then you start retreating.
Hold on, you start retreating, A, because you like them too much, or B, because you were
think,
like, I acted like I liked you a little too much?
I've definitely been in a situation where post breakup and you're trying to get out there, meet new people, and you've met somebody, hit it off, and then the next morning comes and you're just like, yeah, I'm not done processing whatever I need to do to get into a new relationship. And I think that's when people are like, I just need to go ahead and
So why be
not
a
go
douche
for it.
and ghost? Just be like, hey, I got something to do. I'll
That's
hit
the
you
wrong
up
thing
later.
to do. I think
That literally you just don't give a crap about other people.
Because I feel like people would be very understanding to, like, if you let them know, like, if you, especially if you opening up.
Because it's hard to tell somebody, like,
It
we had
is.
an amazing
I
night,
enjoyed
and then
my
like
time with you,
you just
but
are
you
not,
scare me.
you're just not what I need right now.
Like, I had a good time, but you scared
Because
me.
I think it's also that people don't want to leave the room as the bad guy, having had seen it in someone's face of like, honey, I just don't think this is gonna work right now. I think it's
way
a coward
better than
thing.
being the douche that's like, call me, and
It
it doesn't
is.
even check the like message or
But
something
people
like that,
are
you know?
cowards, I think, at a point of confrontation. I don't think that, I think,
Yeah.
well, social media has
Or-
allowed us to be non-confrontational. Then when there wasn't social media, it was like, you had to say it. Like, I don't need,
I think it was back in the day. I feel like it was more ghosting than anything. I think that
Yeah.
comes back before social media ever begins.
Right.
Okay.
But it was
because-
like a non-return phone call.
It was
Yeah.
like
versus
no
a
return or
non-return
not
text.
never see
Right,
you
right.
again.
Yeah.
It's like, but I had experience like, let's say I like this girl and she gave me the signals that yeah I like you too, and prolonged it for a whole entire year, and then all of a sudden you move around, change another job, she just disappears.
Wait, we're about to go into that one next. We're gonna go to prolonged relationship.
Yeah.
In just a moment. We were going
Yeah.
to that one next. But before we do, I just want to dibble dabble in this one just one more time,
Okay.
and then we're gonna go on to that one.
Yeah.
So the person that just like ghosted after acting like so much like everything was okay, I'm strong. I'm gonna be like, whoa, you got issues. But most girls seriously would break down. Like, I know them.
Yes.
Like, they take it way harder. And me, I'm looking at you like, whoa, psycho.
Oh, you're wrong.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, you got issues, dude. That's how I process it, right? But somebody else is sitting there going like, what's wrong with me? Like, why would they? And I there's a lot of people get hurt. Why would they do that to me? Why would they? And I mean, I just kind of want you to know they do not care about anyone else but themselves.
Yep. I think this is the what they call the millennial age, where people are really focused on themselves because the world allows us to be. You know, back when turning 30, you were already buckled down in a very serious homestead, a job, with a future plan. Nowadays, we're able to go to school or not go to school. We're able to go travel, meet people, ditch them, meet the next person, or have multiple people at once. And I just don't think that people are really considering other people in the mix, because it is a self-indulged millennial.
And so imagine a girl that doesn't process like how we do when we're
which is
strong,
unfortunate,
and gets ghosted, and then gets ghosted, and then gets ghosted. You, person ghoster, are really contributing to cutting down and deteriorating someone else's self-esteem in a major way, all because you didn't have the fortitude to just be like, hey, you know, I'm going to be busy for a little while. When I get unbusy, I'll hit you up. Or I just, you know, need some time right now. Or just be like, hey, hi, how are you? And keep it friendly. Like, you know, you
like
can,
bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, you totally can. Like,
See, I've done that. Like, I've done, like, that part. Like, I've let, because, like, there's been times where, like, I was talking to somebody, or, like, you know, like, we were getting into something, but, like, I had to let them know, like, hey, I'm not... Like, I'm a very busy person, and I'm just, like, there may be a moment where, like, I go.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, I don't hit you up for two. But it's just, like, I let them know. It's, like, just because, like, my type of work, I'm running around, I'm traveling. And so, and they were understanding. They were like, oh, okay, I get that. Like, you know, you're going to, and so, but it was, I let them know, like, hey.
That's the proper way of doing things. That's like, you know, like, I want to be respectful and professional with my business opportunities, but I also want to let people know who I'm in a relationship with, or just kind of becoming friends with, that I think being upfront like a first date. Do you want kids or not? Are you busy? Let's just talk about those things so we don't go into the next 6 months someone expecting to have a baby. You know what I mean?
This is like, this
No,
is
if
preach.
somebody brings that up on
I
the
was
first
saying
date,
that,
I don't
yeah.
want to date them anymore.
Yeah.
Even
That
if
would be
I
a
do
ghosting
want to have
reason.
kids.
Like, that would be
Yeah.
like, that's why
See,
people
you're
ghost.
like, let's talk about this. I'm like, no,
yes.
let's not.
At a certain age, you know, when I'm past 30, like, you kind of have to go ahead and get those big ones out of the way, even though people change their decisions over time, depending
on
on
the first
yeah.
date, would you do it?
I have, absolutely.
I'm like, shoot, can't we just eat our pork?
I mean, but first date, let's be real. First date's a meeting. You probably ran into each other at the bar
Yeah.
or at a
Exactly.
concert,
That's true.
and you've done nothing but connect. Now you're on your first date, and you're like, okay, what is it that you do? How busy are you? Do you have time, like,
Yeah.
to do this? Because this could be really cool. And if we have that understanding that we're just gonna meet up when it's convenient
Yeah.
and it works out and it keeps working out, cool relationship, poof, awesome.
All my girlfriends say I'm supposed to do what you just said.
Yeah.
I just can't bring myself to do it. But all of them say that. And the ones that are married to really wonderful guys took that approach. I just can't fix my face to be like, so.
Yeah. Hey, no, it's
What's your-
never. I say, like, for guys, and I see a lot of girls that they think we guys, we just look physical because social media itself shows us that physical is the one thing that we
Right.
should know on a future wife and a future girlfriend, a future friend.
Right.
And I be totally honest, it's never like that. At least, like, we always talk about that, and we like, me and Lexer, we have those talks hours and hours and hours, and
Because
we
y'all are a
have,
special breed of
we are like,
beautiful people.
Thank you.
You
There's
are.
no-
I know. That's why you're here.
I
in
can
the
already
first place.
tell you
Like,
guys are down to earth,
Well,
realistic.
Lexter and I work together, and one day we're gonna have a whole entire show on what we do. I teach sword training, and like I said, he does stunt work, and we'll explain that a lot more. But when you work in that group of people, it really shapes your character into being like a really groovy person. Who says groovy?
Let's just be. Let's
we
just
do.
all be.
let's just chill.
Hey,
Let's
right,
not
coming
bother.
at ya. So okay, so now let's move on to yours. You've been talking to this person for quite a while, and y'all have been talking, and things seem really like they're going okay, and then maybe a little shift or something, and boom, they ghost.
Yeah. I see that realistically happening if you've been in a long-term relationship and the fighting and the arguments have just become overly overdone.
Yeah.
And
But we
it's-
haven't gone the long term yet. That's the
what do
next
you,
one.
like
That's the next
like
one.
the term, like if you're going
Let's
in
do both of them then.
it's just
Yeah,
pile it
because
all.
his term is long.
So right now we're on like if we were on the dating one, just dating, and then they ghost, and then what we have on the table now that you brought up is that y'all have been like serious. Like let's
Yes.
say y'all are even like living together.
right.
Oh no, that's too far.
Right, in conversation.
That would be
somebody's
like,
gotta
but I
go.
feel like that will be more as a relationship already. That's be like a totally, like I said, in the
Different
beginning,
thing. You
I
got to
was
be a
bandit.
special type. You got to be a special type of douche to like.
Yeah.
Not even douche. I was saying an ass.
And
Completely.
assless,
Like yeah, it goes back to who said coward. Who used the word
I did.
cowardice? Like, what about like somebody that y'all have been like living together, whatever, and they leave without any kind of explanation whatsoever? Do you know the psychological damage that you could possibly do to somebody if they're
It's
not
bad.
strong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially at that
seriously.
point, it's probably been led up to that deterioration that's you're already being broken down bits by bits, and you just feel. I don't think anybody just gets up one day and like,
leave.
You would be surprised.
yeah.
Right, yeah, no,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I've heard some stories. Like,
Yeah.
I've
No,
just,
no,
like,
yeah.
and,
And
it's,
that's got to be
surprised.
where the real ass is. Like,
Yeah.
you're
that's
literally
an-
probably getting up off the couch from one chick to go to the next chick. Yeah.
No,
But
yeah.
I feel like like a type of relationship like that should never, like, if somebody's weak, you have to grow in yourself and be like, I can be weak because this person is not the only person in my life.
Yeah.
So I got my family, I got my friends. So I feel like
It's gotta be weak because you can't even look at them in their eye to say, "This is why I'm leaving." Like
Yeah.
I'm leaving, and because it's not working out and I want to move on, and you just abandon them totally.
Yeah.
I think the Ghost of Christmas Past
It's gonna hunt you down.
It's gonna
like, honestly, can you imagine, like, what if what you made people feel, you had to feel it times 100? Like, what if I'm gonna come with a real sci-fi idea.
Okay.
Oh,
Sci-fi.
man. I'm ready.
I'm in trouble.
Okay.
We might get a film out of this.
What if the next evolution of humanity is that we all become one consciousness, and then we really do feel the pain that we inflicted on other
actually
people?
what's supposed to happen,
Right?
right?
I think that's
We're
very
supposed to
close
come
to like a
one.
very real. Yeah.
Yeah, but people aren't ready, so you got to like slide it in under the radar.
Mm.
It really is supposed to happen like that.
Yeah.
Right.
One
Yeah.
heart, one mind. We don't want to go there. But what I'm trying to say is, what if you are one day going to have to experience like that? And then it goes into the whole thing about forgiveness, right? Like, you always hear forgive as you want to be forgiven. So like the measuring stick that you will be measured by is the measuring
That
like,
you use.
So I'm like forgiving everybody.
Yes.
Like,
You work
I
hard
wanna
on
be
it.
My forgiveness be long.
Right? Yeah.
Like, who haven't I
Christmas
forgiven
past is like, man,
today?
you got some yards.
It's like, you need some forgiveness. I forgive you.
forgive you.
Yes.
Oh,
everybody.
man,
I'm dead.
Anyways, yeah.
No, it's powerful. But then there's the fact of like karma. I always just think that life is going to sort itself out with people who do that kind of injustice to people, that it's going to bite them in the ass somewhere.
Well, I honestly believe that if you do not take retribution into your own hands, and you allow, for me it's God, you allow the divine to do it, because for me, in my language, my belief system language, it's like, vengeance is mine, said the Lord, right? So if I take vengeance, he's like, oh, you got this, like, you got it already, you know, you already keyed up the car, you know, you good. But if I say, you know what, I'm gonna let God handle you,
yeah.
you too young to know, respect your elders, you don't know yet, live a little bit longer. Lex, when you when you take the higher road, when you take the higher road, and you're like, I'm not gonna let you contaminate me with your ugliness. Oh yes, you'll see it.
I'm a big believer on that. It's like, I pray for myself every day, but I pray for those who are my enemies, who have the hardest time hating me, because I can forgive and let go while they're stewing, not letting go. And that's torture. That's a mental, emotional torture.
Right.
It really is.
But I think that's also a reason why people ghost, because it might be a reason they hate you for it, and they just bounce, and they're like, well, I'm going to forever hate this person.
Or maybe they want to hurt you. Like,
and that's their way of hurting you.
Right.
I absolutely believe that. Like, it's a hurtful thing.
You shouldn't let it hurt you. Like, all the more... That type of thing can cause... If you hang on to it, people, if you're watching or you're listening, please hear me. Carrying the pain that can come with an abandonment like that can make you a bitter person, and bitterness makes you salty. Like a real salty type person. Because I've had an experience that I felt like that, and I could feel that if I did not wash this off and I kept it, it was going to begin to alter the chemistry of who I am. So every time that feeling would come over me of complete anger and disappointment, and it's like a feeling that you constantly keep looking back. You constantly keep looking back. You constantly keep trying to figure out what, because you're so disoriented. When somebody like ghosts you that you've been like, you know, in a relationship with, you're so disoriented, you know? And it has the capacity to make you just keep looking back, and keep looking back can make you real bitter. You know what I mean? And
I'll just try to
let it
find
go.
out what I can fix
to
make it better.
Well, with them or within yourself?
For myself.
Yeah.
Because I saw this video on social media. You know, the average person lives up to 75 years. And this person multiplies 75 by 365. That's one day of every year. So he goes, so you multiply that, divide that by 75, and this is how much days you have lived to live your life. So why I'm wasting my time on this person that just left me?
Right.
You know,
that's how you got to get over it.
Yeah.
That's how you need to get over. It's like, I did my best. I know I did. You have to be your own fate. You have to be that person that said, you know what? It was good time, good history. That's a lesson. So let's
Yeah.
just live.
And
what I can do next.
any person that would like leave with no explanation or no warning and you don't see it coming, you are completely better off letting them
Yes.
go, because
Right.
that
Yeah.
type of individual
They're having
is
a
ruthless.
inner
Yeah.
fight and battle with their
And they don't know how to deal with
themselves.
it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have told a lot of ex friends, or not ex friends, acquaintances, that it's not, I'll be your friend to the end of the day. The day you disappear from my life, and you, regardless what you said, what you did, what happened to you, and you come back to me, like, look, I'm totally sorry. I should have talked to you. I mean, I will set you back. I just want to know what really happened to you. Why they're wrong. Just like you said before.
Yeah.
And I'll live my own life.
Right.
It's like, that's forgiveness. That's
Yeah.
already forgiveness. If you have that kind of mentality in your mind,
Yeah.
saying, look, if you leave.
Yeah.
You did what you have to do. If you come back, my hands are open, but I'm not going to treat you the same.
Right.
It just...
Until you earn it back.
Exactly.
And people are always allowed, I think, to be like, okay, I made
One
a mistake.
chance.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that some people get their ding dong hard off of, like, I'm
A lot of
serious.
things.
Yeah.
They get their ding dong
Yes.
hard off of dissing somebody,
Yeah.
especially if they're worth salt. Like, oh yeah, I was the
I think
one
it's
that-
because the world's
You're
probably
like,
treated
it's
them
you,
like
bro.
shits
Oh,
for
yeah.
so long,
Right,
and
and-
it's their
Yeah.
turn to like return it, and
But
that's just how they
it goes
feel.
back to that karma thing, So
Yes.
it's just like you keep ghosting, go on, keep ghosting, but you're gonna get ghosted at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I guess it's,
It's funny. I don't really believe in karma. I should tell y'all that. Sorry.
Oh, yeah?
I believe in reaping and sowing, which is very, very similar.
very
to karma.
similar, yeah.
But I believe bad things happen to really good people too. So it's a similar concept, a little bit different. Anyways, I added that. It really had nothing to do with
That's just us bumping into the happenings of life. I mean, the chances of having a bad occurrence, I don't think always involves karma. I just think there's just a ratio it's just your turn to just
It's
endure
just- it's
something
an act
that's
and a
challenging,
Life
Yeah.
has challenges.
For sure.
Exactly.
which is being challenged by people who can't be straightforward.
It's like God
That's the
said,
struggle.
like
Yeah.
it's like some movies they say all the time. I'm if you ask for help, let's say you pray, you ask for help, God's not gonna give you help. He's gonna give you a test,
Mm-hmm.
and He's gonna prove you if you can do this.
So you can do
that's
it
so
for
good.
yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Because if you ask for patience, He's not gonna give you patience.
Oh, he's gonna make you develop.
Exactly.
Oh God, I don't pray that prayer for the record. God, if you're listening, I am not praying for patience.
It's,
I'm gonna jump in front of that prayer. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of the things that we always look at.
Yeah.
no, but you're so
Yeah.
right. You're
Yeah, it's
so
one of the
right.
things you look out. It's if you want a dream, you get it. You do whatever it takes.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with anything else.
yeah.
You want this to work, you get it working.
Mm-hmm.
If it didn't work, you keep going. That's it. Like there's tests everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you go.
drop the mic.
Boom.
Boom. There you go. Oh.
That lipstick looks fabulous.
Thank
on
you.
by the way.
I get compliments on
It
it.
really looks
all the
good
time.
on you. Yeah,
It
It's
stays
like a
put.
great color. And if you are if you're listening from podcast right now, I would like to let you know that I have a Dragon Ball Z jacket on.
Yeah.
Floss yourself, girl.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out, shout out.
I think y'all need to know that this
That's
it's
amazing.
real time over here, big time. You might want to look this up on YouTube.
There
You
you
know what
go.
I'm saying?
Looks
Meeting of
great.
minds with a Z. So yeah, they
Yes.
needed to know about this.
Yes.
It's the real deal. It's the real deal.
It's real. It's real out here.
What'd you say?
It's real out here.
Yes.
It is.
Oh man, so yeah, back to douchebags. So like, yeah, it's not you. I've seen so many people's self-esteem broken down because I've been ghosted by one of my best friends, and the pain is like
It's
enormous.
terrible.
So, and I have pretty. Like, I feel like the spiritual father and the natural father in my life really taught me how to adapt and overcome, you know? Like, I get my feeling hurt.
Right.
I sort of look at it for a second,
Yeah.
and then I adapt and I overcome. And so if I'm strong and I take it, like, boom, like a boom, I wonder what other people, because can you imagine, like, you go on a date, everything's so great, and then all of a sudden they disappear. Like, what manner of creature are you?
See, okay, so like, background story real quick. I'm a military brat, right?
Okay.
So like, I'm used to the whole people move, people leave, to me, the whole ghosting thing, like Angel said, has been going on for like my whole life. Because it's just like, I'm just used to like kids like, oh, we're friends, and then they're gone.
Okay,
like, that's it.
right.
Like, it's just like, oh, they moved, and that was it. They just, and so, like, for me, that concept is just like, you know, it's like, but there is this, if it, where you come from really has a lot to do with it. Like, I think it's just like, because like me being a military, I think it would be a lot easier for me to like dip out. Not that I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, I think it'd be a lot easier
I'm
for me
sure.
to dip
That's
out
very
on somebody.
true.
And you know, just because that's how I grew up. I just grew up knowing
You
like
just go on to the
people,
next chapter.
people
in your
are just
life.
going on,
used to people
and it's not a
moving
bad
on.
thing.
Yeah,
It's not a, you know, it's just, we're just moving on, and that's
Yeah.
it. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, and so,
So that might be someone's mentality right there. Is
Yeah.
that we went on a date, it was a cool date, but we're just here, people dating people, and that happens.
Yeah, and that happens a lot with military.
a lot.
Finish that thought, because I think
Yeah.
you're going somewhere with
no,
it.
and it's just, and I think that just has a lot to do with it, and but not saying that it's excusable for somebody, especially like if there are no circumstances dictating for that, you know, something like that to happen. It's just, it's not excusable. But the background somebody comes from, or like how they grew up, or certain situations they might have encountered, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna affect how you treat others, and you know, those kind of things. So I think knowing who you get into a relationship with, also, like, just like asking those questions. It
like,
might not
do
be
it firsthand.
It might not be. It might not be like,
You
hey,
might
you want to
know
have
why.
kids, but
Yeah.
like, but like, you know, hey, so tell me about yourself. What's your background kind of like? And you know,
Yes.
just understanding that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Understanding a person's psyche and their history can tell you, you know, what's your sign, what's your like, if you're
Or what's
into
your
like knowing
plan?
character.
Or
Yeah.
what's your
Yeah.
plan? What's your plan? What's your plan in your life? What's your dream?
And yeah,
You're talking to somebody that's been completely bamboozled by somebody that said all the right things. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
Boom.
whatever, you guys.
so there's
It's
some,
just the right person. It's just depending on the right person, because there's two type of person like that. You got the good, sincere person, and you got the one trigger. Which one will be the better?
Yeah.
That's why I go based on guys. Most of us, or majority, or part of 50% to 50. We had two different mentalities. You got the guy that will actually tell you the truth, but probably that guy you're not interested on.
Ooh, that's a whole
Right?
other
well, that's a
topic.
whole nother
Am I
topic right there. Like,
Am I
let's be
right?
real.
it's hot.
No, I know a lot of girls that are like that. I have a theory on that. Like, I have a father that was very, very available and involved. So no, like if you show me any signs of trying to play too cool, like I'm not really into you to make you like you,
Yeah.
I make a mark next to your name and you've been friend zoned it. You'll never know that I liked you, but you acted too cool for your own shoes and now you're just
Yeah.
in the friend zone.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of girls that would be like, he's too nice. And I'll be like, what the blippity blappity bleep?
Yeah.
How is he too nice? But let me tell you, the girl that won't like you because you're too kind, you do not want her anyway.
yeah.
Lester, did you write that down?
I wrote it
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
I love it.
Mental
I
note.
wrote it down
Yeah.
like on the
Yeah.
chalkboard 500 times after school.
And
I
then-
wrote
Shut
it.
up!
Yeah.
It's in there.
Screenshot real quick.
So
Right.
if you act kind and sweet and you're there for them and they like don't like you because of that, you did not want that type of girl anymore.
Yeah.
Believe
Yeah,
me.
we have a friend that actually knows Lexer for a while, and I recently just went out with her, like friends, and I went straight and clear. Like, dude, this is, you know, I'll pay you, I'll be nice to you, I'm doing all these things, but don't think I'm gonna go in somewhere with you.
Yeah.
This is just strictly friends. We know each
And
other.
was
I
she
just,
cool with that?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you go straight up
That's
with a
right.
thing. Avoid it. It's avoiding a ghosted.
Yeah.
It's
I don't-
like, look,
what's
this is
wrong
my
with
plan.
friend zone? Like, people are like, no, I either got to be with you or I never want to talk to you again.
Yeah. Those are
why
the people that
can't
want
we
to
be
get married
friends?
and have babies.
And then they're really
They're
mad
on
if
a
you
mission.
friend zone
They're on a
them.
mission. They're on a mission.
And like, and do it. More power to you, boo boo. You want to get your marriage on. You want to get your baby on. You want to get your house on. Like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
People have obligations to make that happen. But in the dating world, I think we're running into different varieties of people. And yes, there's a way to screen people so you know what you're setting yourself up for if the date continues on or doesn't.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, I think that you should screen.
Yep.
There is a way to screen, But every once in a while, there's a
Yeah.
master of disguise
Oh,
that can come through.
those people.
but you still got to screen.
Those
You
would be your
gotta do
sociopaths.
Yeah.
Those would be
Your
most
narcissist.
likely a
Your
hardcore
stalkers.
narcissist.
Covert.
Yeah.
There's two different kinds of
Yes.
narcissists. A covert narcissist will make you be like, "What the hell just happened to me right now?"
It's like,
Go look up covert narcissist.
Oh my goodness.
So you know all the
I
signs.
feel
that you
like
be
the
careful
way
for.
how
What
it
is
is.
Yeah.
this?
It's okay. So you have like the narcissist that is like, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. You know, he's like
Right.
also beautiful.
I'm a
You
trophy.
remember Gaston from
Right.
Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's the covert narcissist who puts on a display of like, I'm saintly, I'm a good person, I'm a pillar of the community, but they are very, very calculative, and everything is really, really self-oriented, and yeah, like they are very, very calculative.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
They also say there are good, healthy traits of narcissism in everybody. You have to have some sort of an ego. It's kind of
Right.
Yeah.
like weird to say that we don't have a healthy narcissism to us, but there's environments that encourage those egos to inflate, and I think when that inflation happens, that's when somebody puts themselves in a situation where they are only left with that decision to bounce out, that they chewed off more than they can chew. This is a little bit more than they expected. Yeah, they might have answered the questions all right. Yeah, I have a future. I want this and this and that. But I think people, go back home and calculate, well, shit, I've got this thing coming up and I've got these things coming up. And then it's just like, well, I'm going to sit here and watch South Park and avoid anything. And that's a default of narcissism to its worst. It's where you only matter
Yes.
and that's it.
Yeah.
What she just said is so profound. And also, like, with the covert narcissist, there will be things going on and you just cannot pinpoint what the heck is happening to you. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Sometimes, like, they'll want something from you and use, like, these mechanisms. Go look it up. You really need to look it up. It's a whole different world than what an outward an outward narcissist is like, I made the murder happen. Like, that's an outward narcissist.
Right.
I hang with all the rappers. Like, that's an outward narcissist. A covert narcissist will...
He's more disguised.
I was about
Covert.
to use
Yeah.
Bend you over backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
That goes into another
It's like-
discussion.
We're like, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, so it goes back to that thing. And it was so important for me to have this show, really, because I've seen elements of it, and I've seen so many women that get really, really wounded by it, like so hurt. And I don't know what the guy is thinking. I think he's like, oh, no big deal. There are some women that take it like a super blow, like a super duper blow, and are so hurt by it.
Most likely, those women have probably been hurt by a repetition of men doing a lot of those things because you date the same, you have a
of
type,
guy.
right?
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
yeah.
That's a mouthful. You're so on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like once you're in a healthier place in your life, naturally you attract healthier people. They always
Facts.
say it's the like attracts like.
Facts.
So if you're looking for some people who are doing great in their life, most likely you're going to be like, yeah, we have stuff in common and we chime and this is great. Less likely you're going to be an asshole and dick me over by ghosting me. But the women who are getting knocked left, right by guys most likely aren't going for the right guys.
I think we need to light incense and like just pause on that moment.
Sage the room.
So yeah, like that was. I hope somebody really zeroed in on that. Go ahead, Angel.
No, I was gonna say just on top of that, I feel more it's like the having a part of a person to leave you or just why.
Yeah.
It's like men, we guys, why we don't care. Why a lot of women think we are dry and we think that it's another girl, I can find another fish. I'm good with that.
Because we live in a man's world, darling.
But look at this.
Y'all's generation is being groomed a little differently.
Exactly.
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 Y'all are being different because y'all are coming up in a world where women don't shave their legs. And so this changes everything.
Wait.
No, I've been around for a while.
Because we
A
shave.
woman that doesn't shave her legs is blatantly looking you in the face and saying, I don't give a crap.
Yeah, exactly.
The
But
retaliation.
I feel
I
like
don't have to wear
A
heels or
whole new
something.
world.
I am
Straight up.
dead.
I feel like
This is wild.
the mentality, at least Lexter and me, we've been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Let's just say that we've been through a lot of shit, and I think our past helped us a lot, and that's what we bond too much, because it's that past and that mentality. Why the world is like this?
Yeah.
Why should I count on social media to tell me you're better than her
Yeah.
or you're better than her? Why should it be like that?
Because it's nice.
Are you
to
like
feel
that?
like you've been
'Cause, when we're I wanted to say on set, when we're at work or whatever, our work is strange. It's hard to say. We can say on set, like it's really.
It's just
We'll explain it to you on a whole other show. He'll be back, I promise you.
Nice.
But all the hoes love you.
And we say host because we don't know your names individually.
Well, one of them I adore. She's not a hoe. She's special. But all the hoes we love you. None of them are hoes. I'm just
Nobody's
ratchet
really a hoe.
sometimes.
Yeah, no,
to be
we're
honest
from
with
the
you.
hood a little bit.
But no, you all the hoes go
Yeah.
crazy for that.
Yeah, he does.
stop it.
I'm just joking. I never call
No,
girls that don't shave their legs hoes.
wow.
Look, trust me, I've been to that
You know what I'm
side.
trying to say.
Thank you.
Dang,
No,
I am so
you
out
re-
there.
But I see you being a really nice gentleman about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But
Lex,
he's true.
The fact
like,
that all these girls like you, do you still like monitor how you're treating them? I need to know.
I do.
Inquiries might wanna
I
know.
do. Look, so it's like I think it's always been very important to me how I make other people feel. Just because, like, you know, I just like my mom was really big on that, like
That's
just growing up. So it's just like, you know, always be careful, be mindful of like what other people think, and like just be respectful. And so like that, you know, that stayed with me. And so like whenever, you know, I'm getting into a relationship, whether it be a friendly relationship or a more romantic relationship, I want to make sure like, hey, everybody knows what's going on. Cards are on the table. Like, just because like I don't want to get hurt, I don't want you to get hurt. Like it is, we don't want
have
this.
to do
We don't,
that.
right? Like
This doesn't
so
have to
and
go
so
bad.
and I think because I've done that, like thankfully all my past relationships, I can say that I've
They're
stayed
still
friends.
friends.
Yeah, we're all still friends.
Oh,
And
markings
it's-
of a good man.
And it's just because
Yes.
like
You're
literally-
honest, and you give them an option to choose.
Literally, that was it. Like it's just been like, hey,
This is what it is.
this is how I'm feeling. This is what's happening. Like let's lay it on the table and like.
And I
Actually
can
a
vouch for
true
that.
pimp.
We have to go there.
No, I'm serious. Look, a pimp tells you what it is and lets you decide. Really, a liar, like you're not a pimp, you're a liar.
Yeah.
Like you must be tired from all that lying. That's not a pimp. A pimp is like, yo, I'm about to go see this other girl right now. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like it, you know what I'm saying? Just,
There's the door.
Yeah,
Don't let it
yeah,
hit you
yeah.
on the way out. Yeah.
No, like a guy that got real game can be like, look, I'm about to go meet Lucy. You got a problem, Sue?
Yeah, it's like-
But that's like really, that's like, hey, it's like,
Look,
hey,
Lou.
look, this is
Yeah,
it,
right.
and this is
Yeah.
done.
And but do you know that women respect that? Like they'll respect that. Like, okay. So let's say
It's just
that.
like, oh.
Let's say that like you are hanging out with Lena. No, you were hanging out with Sue, and you're like, Sue, I gotta go because I gotta meet up with Lena, right? Sue will be like crushed, but she won't say anything, and she'll still respect you, and you'll keep her as a friend. But let's say you tell Sue that I gotta go meet up with my mom, and she finds out that you were checking up with Lena.
Ooh.
She might kill you, bro. Like, forget it. Like, you won't keep her as a friend.
Right.
She'll spread your name that you're a loser.
Yeah.
And like, it's just not the way to go. Just be
Yeah.
like, Sue, I made an appointment with Lena. I'll holler back at you. Like, what do you mean, Lena? Da, 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 da. I'll be like, I'm just like getting to know you. Like, this is fun. Like, I'm just. Do you know how old I am? Like, I'm chilling. Like, people respect that.
Yeah.
And they want to kick it with you
That's
multiple times.
Yeah, and I feel that I'm with you on that. Like, I'm completely with you on that. Like, if you telling somebody, hey, look, I'm hanging out with this type of person.
Yeah.
And you know what's clear, like, we're friends or we are in something.
Yeah.
Look, and we just hanging out.
And some guys just act like they really, really like you to get some. Why are you doing that? People are
'Cause those
human
are
beings. Do you
predators.
realize that?
Exactly.
And those are the
Predators.
same ones that will ghost you.
But they
Yeah,
think they
exactly.
have to. They think that they have to put on a show to get it, but you don't. You could totally be like, "Hey, I'm feeling you.
That's
I
the
have
lazy
such a
man
good
right
time
there.
with you. I love hanging out with you. No, I'm not ready for commitment. You know what I mean?
No,
You'd be surprised how many girls are down for that. I'm not, but at least you gave me a choice.
exactly.
Than to get played and then find out that you were not what you said that you were.
Don't worry, those guys are gonna get excommunicated out to where the only women they can choose are not that great either.
Yeah, or even the same thing that they used to do to other girls.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like-
I don't know. Good-looking guys, girls like will put up with anything.
Are you talking
There
about
are
the bad
some-
boys? Like, bad boys is another
That's
thing.
a whole nother topic.
That's a whole other topic.
That
Yeah.
goes the same way with bad girls. Like,
bad
it's
girls,
just like,
yeah.
yeah, bad girl.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just the spice. I feel it's more to the spice.
What do you mean?
Depending on the girl, like it's just fun as a attraction.
What do you mean, like spice?
Yeah,
Like
let's
hot
talk about that spice.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk about spice.
Wait.
No, what do you mean about spice?
This is a new lingo or something.
Okay, so if you like, if I
thrilling.
meet a bad girl and I know what's her intention, I like to read people. Like it's like, okay, I don't judge you, but I kind of know who you are,
Yeah.
and I know in your personality. And a bad girl for me is like, hey, what's up? Like, what you doing? That's a turn on.
Yeah.
It's that spice. You
That's
be like,
the space you're
it's
talking
like, hey, what you would do with me? Like she something like that, you
Would you
know?
Yeah.
get sprung on the bad girl? Would you allow yourself to get sprung?
No,
Really? Are you sure?
I'm
Like,
completely
if,
sure.
yeah,
I've
she
seen
like
it, I've
played with
seen
you and then
I'm
left
completely
you.
sure.
Yeah, because you know what you're getting into is a like fun, on the spur of the moment kind of person, and that comes with spontaneity, and that kind of spontaneity you cannot rely on.
Yeah.
And whatever things happen.
But I feel weird because I feel like both people live in me. Like there's a place in me that like the button-up church girl lives.
sure, you got a little spice
And then
in
there's
you too,
this
girl.
like with the long, 4-inch heels,
She got the
smoking a cigarette,
fishnets,
taking a shot of tequila,
Yes.
slamming it down on the
I'll
table.
tell you what.
She's in there.
I tell you, there's when I was going through
Doggone it.
when I was going through performer training in Hollywood,
Yeah.
you have to step into character, and you also need to learn how to bring the balance of that character
Yeah.
when you need it in real life.
Right.
So whenever I was feeling in real life that I needed more confidence, I tap into my performer persona, and I was able to deal with whatever thing was supposed to go down.
Yeah.
And I would teach that to people in dance class, that you need to learn this confidence, so therefore you can take it with you as you go. And I think on the bad side of that, people can take their confidence into an ego side of way that those things go.
So true. Man, you drop bombs.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
you drop it straight
Thanks.
now.
It's like Obama. It's like we go like.
Boom.
Yeah, if y'all know, I'm supposed to be like,
It's like,
doing
you
this
know what,
life
the
coaching
conversation.
thing.
Really?
This is the beginning, the break.
Oh,
But yeah.
shoot.
It's like
If y'all are
tapers
interested,
are down.
if y'all
I
are
am
interested,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna be hitting you up for some advice.
that's right.
I want us to go around. I'm gonna start wrapping up the show, but I want us to go around and first say something to the ghoster, and then we're gonna go around again, and we're gonna say something to the ghosted. Okay?
Yeah.
So
It's like
I'll give you. I'm gonna talk while y'all think real quick, okay, of what you're gonna say. So I'll say something to the ghoster. To the ghoster, people have feelings. Like, people are human, made of emotions and hearts that hurt. Like, it's a whole human there. Like, consider other people. Have courage to just tell your truth. You'd be surprised what having courage can do. And yeah, it's not just you, man. Like, it's not just you. And being honest with somebody is way better than leaving them not knowing or uncertainty. And if you get pleasure out of something like that, I really urge you to seek therapy. Lexter, your turn.
Oh man, thanks for that.
Right,
That was like right on. So ghoster. Gee, I would say, whatever kind of situation you're coming from, whatever background, always try to put yourself in other people's shoes a little bit, and understand that not everybody rationalizes the same way as you do, and we really should be cautious of how we go around treating people, because it could come back to you one way or another. We never really know how, but hey, just always best to walk cautiously.
Doggone
I like
good
that.
stuff.
Walk cautiously.
Yeah.
Angel, what would you say to the ghoster?
I would say to a ghoster is like, be real to yourself. Like, be a person that you don't want it to be, or a person that needs to be approved from other people to be happy. I feel to the ghosters is, don't do stuff that you don't really like people to do to you, and you be happy. And if you're afraid about being happy, don't let it weigh just because you think this person is not right for you. Just live with it. It's another acquaintance, another friend.
Nice.
It's another person that in the day could be, hey, I can help you. And just be real. Just be real. Yeah.
What would you tell the ghoster?
I know that where this comes from, it's mostly comes from a world of pain, and that this world of pain is drawing out in bad ways. They don't have outlets to put it in positive ways. So for the ghoster, it's a vicious cycle that will literally eat you from the inside out. And the day that you're able to find that atonement and self-love, it's all about where that begins, because the way you do one thing is how you're going to do everything in your life. Just, be real. Be one
real
to yourself, and, tread cautiously.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Tread cautiously.
Yeah.
Doggone it, that's some good stuff. Man. Oh, I keep hitting this thing. That's not my style, but I've been hitting it a lot. I bet they hear it. Sorry, podcasters. I keep hitting my mic. This is like the 4th time. Sorry. Okay, so to the ghosted, it's not you. It's not you. And okay, hold on.
It might be.
It's like, take it back
now.
just one.
If it keeps happening to you,
It is
it
you.
is
That's
you.
you.
You might want to
If it keeps happening to you, you need to consider the type of person that you are. Like Miss Alyssa said, you need to take into consideration the type that you might be choosing. We give off signals with our body language, with the way we maneuver in the world. And, like, there could be somebody that looks like they're about to go to jail, and you're like, that's the one for me. Like, you need to take into consideration. You need to take into consideration what you're attracted to. So that's number one. Number two, maybe you do have a quality that might be pushing people away if it keeps happening. And you need to consider that. Maybe look at that and say, am I doing something on these dates possibly that's pushing people away? And if it is, welcome to the human club of needing to work on things. It does not mean you need to be thrown away. Be easy with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be nice to yourself. You are somebody's kid, like a child. You are literally a child. If you look at a child, would you be like, oh, be so hard on yourself? No, you wouldn't be like that. So look at yourself like a kid and be like, hey, it's okay. Like, you will learn and you will grow and you will be better. Not like taking it so hard on yourself and being extremely hard on yourself. No, you be extremely nice to yourself and say, I think I might need to work on this area, and how can I work on this area? And that's the appropriate way. You better be nicer to yourself than you are to anyone else on the planet. That's one thing. Now, if it doesn't happen to you often and it happens to you, I'm sorry that happened to you. And they might not ever apologize, but I will stand in their place and look at you and say, I am so sorry that person did that to you. You did not deserve that. And it's them. It's not you. A person that would give you no explanation like that whatsoever has the problem themselves. So it's not you. And so, you need to go home, get dressed, and get snatched and go out with that. Butter and jam. Butter and jam.
Yeah.
Okay.
After this.
Yeah, no, but no, that's exactly right. Love yourself. You're beautiful. I know that whenever something like this happens, some people might immediately go into like self-harming thoughts, like like body image wise, or like self-esteem, that kind of thing. And don't go there. Don't do that, because that's nobody's worth that. Like it's just nobody's gonna be worth losing yourself and everything else that you have, your family and stuff like that. So don't think that because of that one person who might have done you wrong, that everything else falls apart. Like you're still good, you're solid. Keep on going. Just keep walking forward.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Do you want to tell the ghosted person something?
I would say, man, hang on. Just hang on. Just hang on. It's never bad. Not being ghosted is never
That bad.
It's not bad. It's not the worst thing in life.
No.
It's not.
They did you a favor, probably.
Probably, exactly. So probably you did me a favor. I feel like just move on with your life. Just think, what's next in my life? This person was the only person in my life. I can't just stuck with this person. Just go forward. Go forward. See what adventure gives you most to not be ghosted.
That's good.
Or have that connection with that person that will stay for the rest of your life. Just don't give up on life.
Yeah.
It's basically life.
I love that. I go to you last because you're sharpening your toes, and so no,
I'll
I
take
didn't
it.
mean to. I
I'll
meant to
take
go the
it.
other way around. I forgot.
Yeah, I love you. Like nailed so many of the good things, and everybody around this table is like, it is about self-worth, and it is about loving thyself. And once you do love thyself, then you'll realize that you're meant for something bigger. This is all part of the design, whatever it is. But there is an element to people that we love the conception of somebody's potential, and it's the potential that makes us create the fantasy that they're perfect and that this went very perfectly, and the moment that they left, it was the worst thing that this perfect person could have ever done to us. And therefore that world, that conception of this potential in this person that we like to really want to see in people, it loses the faith of humanity, and that's where it gets really hard. It's not just losing this abandonment, this moment with somebody, it's that the world isn't better and that people should be better in general. And it's the sadness, I think, of that reality that's really making it worse than it really is. But let's just face it, nobody is fucking perfect.
Right.
And the moment that you realize that aspect, you will learn to forgive that this is not their time right now. Give them time. Don't be a part of the cause. And the more that you do stay focused on the things that bring enrichment into your life, no matter what happens, that action will get you to where you need. And if it is meant to be with that person at the right time, then it'll happen. But enjoy your life, because this is the only one you got.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Living.
Just living. Just that our days are counted.
That's right.
Well, I'm about to wrap up the show,
Yeah.
guys. I have like so many final things I'm supposed to say, but I'm just like so at peace right now. I can't remember everything.
That's what I love to hear.
Let's see, there's a couple things I'm supposed to say. Thank you so much to Beautiful Solutions for having solutions for me to look beautiful. What else am I supposed to say? Because Beautiful Solutions is one of our sponsors. Syntex, I said thank you to them before for giving me my little pew pew. What else? Well, just thank you to Charles, the producer. He's so awesome. So if you're watching us on TV and you'd like to listen to us on iTunes or Google Play, you can totally subscribe to us and listen to us in your car. And if you are listening, I ask that you rate us. Please rate us and subscribe so that we can know how we're doing, what you think about us. Also, once again, if you'd like to be on the show, please visit meetingoftheminds.com. That is with a Z, meetingoftheminds.com, and you can sign up to be a person on the show, or even drop some topic ideas. Like, say, I have this great topic, I don't want to be on the show, but I have a topic, or I want to be on the show and I want this topic. So you can totally visit that as well. I am so sure that there was something else that I was supposed to say, but I can't remember it right now. So till next time, thank you so much for watching.
Intellectually engaging to think outside the lines, with conversation about the nation that never leaves you blind. Take a listen and pay attention. Here is where you find the educational, sensational meeting of the minds. Yeah, it's the meeting of the minds.